Okay, thank you again for allowing me to be here. Very much appreciated. It's a fantastic opportunity to just be able to see other people who are passionate, who are caring, who want things to be good and beautiful in this society. Because goddamn, we can have that.
Yes.
We can absolutely have that. In fact, actually speaking on how we can have this, there's a group out there called Represent.us. That's our website, Represent Us, very apt. They constructed something called the American Anti-Corruption Act. This is fundamentally something that covers the significant picture, overwhelming part of what corruption is. I mean, therein we can stop it. They're already actually having this actualized in society, in this country, in various different places. If you haven't heard about them, there's a reason for that. In connection to that, later on, but the point is that the media companies are privatized, and it's just not surprising at all that we don't hear about the people's movements coming up and uprising, right? Unless it's like really like you can't not see this on social media and stuff like that. The problems, and this is really where I want to pull this into, make it relevant here. The problems that they solve, and I'll explain exactly how this functions, but the problems they solve are things like ICE police officers being trained half the time of cosmetologists. Those are people who work for hair and makeup, half the time. Citation, ice.gov, and barbercosmo.ca.gov. Is their own websites, their own data out there. They have every incentive to lie to us, indeed they do, as government officials, and there it is right there, blatantly in front of us, right, half the time. ICE agents can end your life with their gun. Cosmetologists can ruin your day. Capitalist billionaires, like Trump, buy our elections. We know this, and I'm going to show you exactly what this looks like in a moment here. Let's just get right into it. This is a Princeton study by 2 PhD professors. What this shows us is the ability to have passage of policies that these groups prefer. So, for example, to get into this, here's the economic elite top 10%. Top 10% of Americans in this country, their effect on policy action. If they don't support it, it doesn't happen. If they do, it has a super majority chance of having a pass. This is everyone else. It's the bottom economic 90%. Remember I said that capitalist billionaires and millionaires, multi-millionaires, are buying our elections. They do this through things like super PACs, cyber PACs, and dark money groups. They are infinite in their potential to buy our elections. Dark money groups, so we don't even know where the money is coming from. This is a flat line. We don't have an effect. We don't. This is a Princeton study by 2 PhD professors. This is hard-hitting. This is very, very hard-hitting. This is to know that this is a thing. The validation of our own understanding of how society is set up right now is very hard-hitting. And can be very destructive as well. But I'm going to tell you why it's not. I'm going to tell you exactly why it's not. But those are the problems. You have capitalist billionaires buying our elections and ICE agents getting half the time training than cosmetologists. And we see the effects of that in reality. We see that, the abuse, the lack of oversight, the lack of knowing what to do and how to properly handle situations so then abuse happens. Billionaires want always their wants to happen first before the needs of the people. That's the fundamental reality of what we see here. Their wants before our needs. They distract, divide, or silence us while getting away with corruption. We know this as well because the media companies are privatized. They know exactly how to do this. What this leads to, how these problems are connected here, it leads to the objectification of LatinX people. Common knowledge was family separation happening at the border, as well as foil blankets. We saw that. I saw that. I know you saw it as well. Many people saw it. Something else as well that's common of immigration detention centers is spoiled food, dirty water, and no showers. That's abuse. That's objectification of people. They are not treated as human beings with respect to their humanity. Citation, UC San Diego. No abuse. No abuse is allowable in this country in this time and day and age. We know that for ourselves. We know that we want this. We need this. We understand that this has to happen in this society. This has to. This is not something that we can fall back on. This is not something that we can capitulate to. Necessitating the abuse, because that's what capitulation is. You give up to the abuse that is happening. It happens. That's what happens when you capitulate. We are Americans. We are all Americans. And as being Americans, as being humans first as well, we stand against this abuse. That is what the meaningful meaning of being American, of being human, first and foremost is standing against corruption and the abuse that happens from corruption. We stand for love. That is our humanity. We stand for love. And in that, in our humanity, we know that there is no room for abuse against humanity. No more fearmongers either, like Trump in power. And we have all of this. We have the solving, the money in politics, as well as the abuse that happens to the people, the many, many people that come into this country and are already in this country. The abuse that happens, we solve that through Represent.us, through Represent Us, through working with them. We can, they already have it sorted out. What it is, it's called the American Anti-Corruption Act. The American Anti-Corruption Act. That's what it is. Nice little package for us to just grab onto, and there it is. That's power. That is power, right there. And I would like to simply say that every single effort that we have, it matters. Every single effort, every single moment, every single connection that we make, every single word that we utter to stand against the abuse, that has to matter. That's the most meaningful thing that could matter, standing against abuse, no matter how small. A person's a person no matter how small. An effort is an effort no matter how small. And together, that's a lot of effort. Together, that's a lot of effort. We can have that. Of course, unless we want to abandon all hope and necessitate that abuse. Those are our options. Those are our options. One of them is very obvious. Hence the Student Activism Club. Connecting generations, this is already happening, connecting generations of local activists in this community, in this local environment, with all these other groups on campus who are very charged and ready and energetic to take on the torch of activism to effect real change in the local environment. It can happen. Throughout human history, this has happened. Our cause is joined together, supporting activities, values, perspectives, and the needs. Together, all these different groups, providing for one another. That's human connection right there. Together we are heard. Together we are heard. And the power of humanity will be actualized and realized, as it has been throughout history. People, normal people, stormed the Bastille. That happened. People have died on the battlefield. They were people. They were people just like us. The horrific nature of what they saw is happening as well in this country. We have humanity. We have strength and power. That is what humanity is. Something to be respected and power. And together we are heard in that power and humanity. Thank you.